Hello and welcome to Things That Really Matter, a podcast by Cundall that addresses the most pressing issues within the built environment. Whether it's decarbonising the industry or skills, we have assembled a series of industry experts to gather a diverse range of voices. I'm Rob Marney. I'm an associate in the London office in Building Services, and I'm joined here today by Judy Ngan, Director of Projects at Peninsula London. One thing that Judy and I have in common is we both have entered the construction industry via unique routes or non-traditional routes. But perhaps first, a little bit about how we first met.
Well, thank you for having me, Rob.
You're welcome.
It's fantastic that I get to experience this podcast. Very exciting. Looking back a few years ago, I don't want to count how many, we first met at the industry charity music event.
Yes.
Where I was very honored to be invited to be a guest musician. So I play keyboard. Love that. And we were introduced by a mutual contact, Darren, who was also working in Cundall and seconded to Deloitte at the time. So then I was introduced to you and find out that you're an incredible musician. And then we just got connected because of our love for music. And then we re-meet again, working together over the Paris School project.
Yep.
A few months later, where I inherited the role employer's agent, trying to oversee the close out of outstanding defects, and you were providing MEP advice at the time.
Yes.
And I do recall we work great as a team and drive a successful conclusion quite speedily.
I agree with absolutely everything apart from me being an excellent musician. Aside being part of a band, we have another thing in common, and that is that, I was in a band, you were in a band, but we entered the industry slightly uniquely. There were unique ways we entered it. I left school at 16, the earliest opportunity. I didn't leave with much, but I went straight to work on construction sites. And I laboured for a start, just sweeping up and making tea, but then I was lucky I got an apprenticeship. I then was able to qualify as an electrician, and then I had my own little business for a little while, which was nice. But then I decided I wanted to go to university, went to university, bachelor's, master's in engineering, and then since then I've been at Cundall. That's me. But your story is also unique.
Yeah, mine, I think people find surprising. When I studied at university, my degree was in animal behaviour and welfare. It was just unfortunate I graduated at the time of recession, just following the Lehman Brothers collapse. I struggled to find relevant jobs in the field. Even just work experience is just such a niche market. Yeah. So I still recall trying to work a couple of part-time jobs just to cover my daily expenses. I got drawn by the TV program Home Under the Hammer and Grand Designs, and that just sparked my interest in the construction and property world. I recall vividly, I did a lot of research of, what sort of course I need to do that sort of projects. And then that's how I came across a postgraduate conversion course at the University of West of England.
So what was your degree in originally?
Animal behaviour and welfare.
Right, okay. So quite a departure from project management.
Yes, I would say so.
So you did the conversion course, and what came after that?
So I did a conversion course, and of course, knowing how important it is to get relevant work experience in the industry, I actively seek opportunities to just get work experience, even as an internship, unpaid job, everything. What I found is if you're not following the traditional route, like just doing a degree in the cognate background, the companies tend to see you as having an indecisiveness in terms of your career choice, and it's actually harder to convince them that actually I want to change, I want to join your industry. But I'm very fortunate to have met my mentor, Arthur Blatchley, who took me under his wing, and I gained invaluable experience working with him, shadowing him, and I did the RICS Home Buyer Service under his supervision. And this hands-on experience have formed the foundation of my career in construction and ultimately landed my spot in the Deloitte Royal Estate Graduate Scheme. Yep. And since then, I think what I see mentoring is so important. I also benefited from a lot of help from my senior team members when I go through the APC journey. So just to give a context, APC is a chartership program for anyone who wants to become RSCS chartered surveyor. So at the time, many senior team members would volunteer the time to give me general guidance, going through revision sessions or even mock interviews. And having that sort of experience reinforced the belief that I want to pay it forward and when it's my turn. So as I go along my career, I then joined the next company. I become an APC counselor, so I helped some of the APC candidates through also the chartership journey. I also helped develop a structured training program for the team. So personally, I think this is incredible experience because I feel like I'm paying back as I've benefited from others. Outside of work, this year I had the privilege to become a mentor for a joint scheme between the University College of Estate Management and Diversity Surveyor Mentoring Program.
Oh, wow.
So that the uniqueness for that program is to aid students from minority backgrounds, help them to just build network in the industry, general guidance, skill building, develop their career. And so again, this has been a very invaluable experience for myself as a mentor. It helped me to reflect on my mentor style, actually what I lack, maybe I should improve on so that I can give it back to other people. And one thing I am absolutely joyful is recently, just about a month ago, my mentee reached out to me just telling me he gone through a major career blockage and he landed an opportunity that he can truly showcase his capability. And I'm just very proud that he's willing to reach out to share that message with me.
Incredible. You mentioned the mentor, and I know you're a very helpful person. You're always keen to help, and you're that sort of person. But how important do you think mentoring is to our industry?
I think this is one of the vital things to empower, encourage people to join us, because like us, when we're young surveyors or young professional, we always look out for help, we just wanted someone to give us some guidance, and it doesn't cost people other than just a bit of time, just a bit of their personal experience.
Yeah, I'd agree with that actually. I've maybe inspired by yourself since we last spoke, and I've been involved in some mentoring as well. We do a little bit of work by the nature of the way the structure is set up at our companies, but I'm involved with the Amos Bursary. It's a charity for young individuals of Black Afro-Caribbean heritage to help them with internships, applications to university, and then ultimately employment. But it's really rewarding. It gives you something. Yes. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like a warm feeling. We all like to give back, as you say, but it really, I can't quite put my finger on it. What is it gives you?
Personal satisfaction?
Yes, gratification maybe, yes.
I think it's also the meaningless to life in a way.
Yes, I'd agree. It does feel good. It does feel good to do that. Something else I'd like to explore is the appeal of working in construction. Would you be able to put your finger on that?
Yeah, so going back to those TV programs that inspired me, one of the things about construction really attracts to me is the thought of having a physical lasting legacy that I can showcase to my family and my friends in the years to come. The other thing I would really love to share I've experienced in this industry is that power of synergy. So I worked on a project called the Kensington Aldridge Academy. It's a school that got affected by the Grenfell Tower incident. More than 1,000 students got displaced because the school was damaged by the fire. And we managed to build a temporary school in 12 weeks.
Incredible.
From the date of site acquisition, and I know there are workers working tirelessly for weeks, day and night, and just with that mentality, they want to get it done to make sure the students can go back to school back in September. Yeah, I think I'm just so proud to be on that project because it's not about the value of the project, it's not about necessarily the speed, but also it's the impact it has to the students, the family, and the community.
That is incredible. I didn't know that piece that you just said about the 12 weeks of construction to build a school or to get it back in working order. I think something that we genuinely lack in this industry is our ability to shout about our achievements. I think other industries do it really, really well.
Of course.
And I don't know, I mean, speaking from the engineering side, stereotypically, rightly or wrongly, engineers are always seen as introverts or slightly introverted. So maybe we don't shout enough. I don't know whether that carries through to the rest of the construction industry, but we don't seem to shout about it very well, do we? We don't seem to advertise our achievements as well as other industries do. And that you've just said about the school is incredible. And I, the same as you, I think that the reason I love the construction industry is that you're building something, designing, then building it, and you get to see it come to life, and you get to see people use it. The Priory School that we worked on, it's there for the community. The community use it every day, and they really benefit from it. And when you've got something like that that's going to stand as a monument, and it's there that you can see, and it can be adored, and it's just, that makes me feel good.
I think about the shouting part, perhaps we're not shouting in the right way.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
perhaps the kind of metrics that we normally shout about is the value of the project, the metrics of how big it is, what the size of the building, that sort of thing. Maybe we should come from a different angle and shout is what's its impact to its community? What is impact of people's life?
I think you could be onto something there, because these things are obviously valued in currencies bigger than money.
Exactly.
Well, we're currently witnessing a skills shortage, a painful skills shortage. So clearly there is something that we're not doing right within the industry. There's a lack of people, the right type of people. What do you think we should be doing more of to recruit and retain talent?
Well, having been in this industry more than 10 years, I would say there is a mindset that is perceived as traditional and a bit conservative. People like to follow established ways of doing things, and a reluctance to embrace new things, innovation. And that could have created some sort of barrier in terms of attracting fresh talents, especially young professionals who wants to bring new things, who wants to bring new perspective. So I think we as an industry really needs to make a conscious effort to try to shift that mindset, to break free from this rigid mindset that people perceived, and promote inclusive environments by saying, hey, you know what, we want new ideas, we want innovation. And personally, I think it's critical to drive this industry forward with this sort of mindset, because we are facing all these new modern challenges like AI disruption and everything, and we need that sort of new perspective. We can't always follow the old ways in doing so. One very powerful way I have come across of doing so is called reverse mentoring. So unlike the traditional mentoring, which is only one way throwing down from top to bottom, this is actually encouraging and knowledge transfer exchange between both ends, where the senior people would benefit by communicating to a junior person to know what are the emerging trends, what are the new technologies, what's your perspective as a younger generation, whereas the younger person who mentor the senior leadership would say, oh, I feel like I'm valued, you value my opinion, I feel empowered, I feel connected to you. And this is the kind of environment we want to foster, to promote that actually construction can be creative, not the kind of traditional conservative mindset that we had. So I think with that, we'll be able to encourage more young people to join us and see that this is something they want to build a career on.
I think you're right, and I just wanted to pick up on what you said about mindset, because I think that we do have a mindset problem. Some of the mentoring I do, I'm involved with a technical college in Dartford called the Lee UTC. I'm a governor there. It's incredible. I really, really enjoy it. But I did a talk to them 2 months ago, and I was, well, wearing these kind of clothes. And I was doing a presentation about building services. But some of the students came up to me afterwards, and we were talking about engineering, and their perception of engineering and what it is, and certainly their perception of construction, I think is so far removed from what it really is. They said to me, "Oh, you're wearing these clothes today, but do you usually wear a boiler suit that's got oil on it and you've got a screwdriver in your pocket?" And that's the perception. I don't think any of these students realise that there's a career in the city which is perhaps largely behind a desk, using software to solve complex problems, to contribute to very prestigious design schemes. And I think that mindset is what we need to change, both with students that want to get into the industry, but also, as you mentioned, I'm keen just to pick up on the reverse mentoring again. I've never heard that one before. That's quite interesting.
I come across that when I was part of the junior board at Rudder Level Bucknell at the time. We were trying to find ways to create an inclusive environment, and that's how I come across this.
Well, I think that's very, very good. So being part of the construction industry, I think that we have a responsibility and an obligation to try and improve upon the landscape that we have. And net zero carbon, as mentioned, is a certain part of that. And it's this drive of change. And we've almost torn up the script a little bit about how we do things in design, because now we do some things slightly earlier in the usual REBA design stages, and we've changed the process a little bit. But the reason that I think this appeals to young people is because young people, a bit cliche, are the future. They are the ones that are going to come next, and then their children will come, and it all follows. So in order to make sure that we leave the right legacy for them, we have a responsibility to be on board with this dramatic change that we so desperately need within the construction industry. 40% of carbon emissions from buildings, and that's central to what we do. So if there's change, I think we have to make it, and I think we need to shout about it to the young people. There are certain particular individuals in the media who have very loud voices who have shouted about it, and like them or dislike them, I think it's been for the greater good, because it's gained momentum. It's spread the message a little bit, and there are a lot of young people who are concerned, and rightly so, about the environment, and they want to try and be part of positive change.
Yeah, and I think what can be done perhaps is coming from an angle that how they can be involved by being in the construction industry to change and to make a difference to the environment, knowing that currently there are so many sort of adverse weather, flooding, or you name it. What I actually have talked to someone before about it is a company, it must be the Crown Estate, they have these Minecraft competition. Okay. They invited either school, university students to work on this competition and try to work on the solution of, okay, this is a problem, how you can actually provide a solution, maybe using Minecraft. And I think this is a kind of initiative we need to do more to encourage the younger people, like, hey, you can actually even, as a Minecrafter, you can provide a solution to this sort of thing, and later on you can be an architect and use that.
So it's getting the engagement.
Exactly. And I think that's the kind of the little seed you can plant early on to generate that passion where they can say, you know what, this is a kind of career path I want to build on.
Well, maybe it's those kind of things. Maybe we need to think outside the box, and Minecraft is part of that. I certainly wouldn't have thought of it. I'm the wrong person for that anyway. But you are right. That way of thinking is the way that we perhaps need to be if we're to engage younger people. Well, thank you very much, Judy. Today's discussion has been fascinating. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Thank you, and we'll see you again another time.